Elena stood frozen as her reflection stared back at her from the vanity mirror, a vision of ethereal beauty framed by her thick, unruly chestnut hair that tumbled down her back like a silken waterfall. Her eyes, pools of bottomless sadness, betrayed the turmoil within her. Tonight was the night she would marry a stranger. Her father's company was on the edge of ruin, and her stepmother, the ever-scheming Vivian, had engineered this marriage to save the family's fortune. The groom, Alexander Rykov, was a name whispered with reverence and fear in equal measure in the business world. A man of immense power, an enigmatic billionaire who played his cards close to his chest. She turned away from the mirror, her heart a clenched fist in her chest. Her hands trembled as she reached out for the soft, luxurious fabric of her wedding gown, a stark white against her alabaster skin. The dress was a masterpiece, a symbol of the union about to take place, a binding of two families, two lives. But it was also a cage, a gilded one, but a cage nonetheless. She had heard stories about her husband, tales spun by the wind, rumors that clung to him like shadows. A man who exuded an icy coldness, whose touch was as chilling as the winter winds that swept across the barren steppes of his homeland. A man who was as much a mystery to his own people as he was to hers. Suddenly, her door was flung open, and there he stood silhouetted against the soft glow of the ballroom, a figure of imposing height and breadth, his features chiseled and sharp as if carved by a master sculptor. His eyes, two chips of ice, glinted back at her, assessing, penetrating. In that moment, Elena felt as though every secret, every hidden thought and fear was laid bare before him. He advanced towards her, each step echoing the relentless beat of her racing heart. He was closer now, and Elena could see the lines etched on his face, the telltale signs of a life lived on the edge of a knife, the constant struggle to stay ahead, to keep everything together. His jaw was set, his eyes narrowed. There was a tightness around his mouth that gave away nothing of what might lie beneath. As their eyes met, Elena felt a jolt, a spark of electricity that made her shiver. This was the man she was to marry, the man who would become her world. A world away from her own, a world of power, of secrets and shadows. She knew then that her life as she had known it was over. From this moment forward, she belonged to the night. The ceremony was a blur. Elena went through the motions, her mind a million miles away. Her hands trembled as she placed them in his, the coolness of his skin sending a shiver down her spine. The vows, the rings, the blessings, all seemed to echo in a distant cavern. Only the priest's booming voice broke through the haze, his words a solemn litany that bound them together in sickness and in health, in joy and in sorrow. Later, as the celebrations wound down and the last guests took their leave, Elena found herself alone with Alexander in the vast expanse of their bedroom. The room was a study in contrasts, just like her husband. Soft, plush carpets met the cold gleam of marble floors. Rich fabrics draped over impossibly hard surfaces. There was a disquieting stillness in the air, broken only by the soft crackle of the fireplace. Alexander stood by the window, his broad shoulders filling the space between the curtains. The firelight played across his features, casting flickering shadows that danced with the darkness in his eyes. Elena watched him from the other side of the room, a chasm of uncertainty stretching between them. Then something stirred in Alexander's eyes, a flicker of warmth that chased away the shadows, a ghost of a smile that hinted at the possibility of light breaking through the clouds. Elena found herself drawn to him, not by any magical force, but by the sheer humanness of the moment. For in that instant, he was not Alexander Rykov, the untouchable billionaire. He was just a man stripped bare before her, revealing the cracks in his armor, the vulnerability that lay beneath his cold exterior. And as Elena took a hesitant step towards him, she knew that their story was just beginning. Love doesn't always come with flowers, she mused. It can come with sacrifice, trust, and the courage to look beyond appearances.